Hello and welcome everybody to Pokésports, a competitive Pokemon podcast. I am Mike and I play with one Pokemon on the field.
I'm Kevin and I'm not moving right now, Mike.
Oh, Kevin, what happened to you? What happened to you?
Hello, I'm Kevin. I play with two Pokemon.
Don't you? Don't you though? I almost completely forgot how many Pokemon I play with on the field. It's been a weird week, dude.
It's almost like we need a shirt to remind us.
Mine is in the mail. Thank you, COVID. It's been in the mail for far too long.
I'm still waiting too, Mike. So if I'm still waiting, you're probably going to wait an extra 3 weeks.
But
when I get it, I'll let you know.
Yeah, you're going to get it before me because America. But I can't wait to get it. I can't wait to wear it on stream. I think it's going to look sick.
I hope so. I want to see what it looks like in person.
Yeah.
I'm Kevin and I also play with one Pokemon sometimes. Pokemon show Smackdowns. You have been. You know what? We should we talk about this now? Do we talk about this now? Yeah.
Why not? Okay.
What else are we going to talk about?
I don't know. Nothing. This is an hour of not much. No, I'm just kidding. We played Ubers. We played Ubers this past week. And I lost again. I've lost 2 Smackdowns in a row now.
Third time's a charm, Mike.
Third time's a charm. It was funny because I was reading through the comments of our draft and people were already saying like, oh, yo, Kevin's team is stacked. and like at the time I had no idea what they were talking about. I'm like, oh, well, yeah, it's fine. It's fine. We can do this. And then you pop out with the Zacian and it's like, oh, Big Sword Doggo actually does some stuff.
It's not my fault. You had first pick.
Okay. I guess.
You went for Melmetal. I was like, okay, I got to pick this one.
But like, it's just so good.
It's kind of stupid. Yeah, it's a little stupid.
There's
a reason why it's
so
number one.
Good. Like Zamazenta isn't even like that good. I tried to type in Zamazenta into Google and I ended up typing Zamantha.
Yeah, Zamazenta's not even top 25. You have like Hippowdon above Zamazenta.
Hippowdon is above Zamazenta. Like people would rather put utility on their teams than the other Shield Doggo. But I will from now on be referring to Zamazenta as Zamantha.
Zamantha.
So I hope everybody is ready for that. This is going to be our in joke, our little secret. So whenever you see a friend use Shield Dog, just make sure to call them Zamantha and have them give you weird looks.
Let's see how far this meme goes.
Yeah, really. What Pokésports memes have we had so far?
Excadrill,
Noctowl. Yeah. I think it's just those 3 now, huh?
People try to make fun of me for losing to a Lampent. But it didn't catch on. So let's stop now.
Didn't happen.
No, it happened, but didn't catch on.
Didn't catch on. Today, everybody. Oh, is that the one? Let me look at that. Yeah, it is. Today is National Paranormal Day.
Spooky.
Ooh, spooky. I don't know why Sunday, May 3rd is National Paranormal Day, but
May the 4th be with you is tomorrow.
Oh, that's true.
I don't know.
Star Wars Day tomorrow.
Trying to make sense of it.
If you're listening to this on May 6th, when it comes out on Spotify, it's National Nurses Day. National Nurses Day. It's weird. Like that is such an apt day for what's going on right now.
Yeah.
Thank you, nurses, everybody. They are they're going ham.
Thank your front lines. They're trying their best.
Yeah. The front lines are doing work. That's your Whimsicott Duraludon leads. That's your Incineroar Togekiss.
In honor of National Nurses Day, we're gonna use an Audino.
That's it. That's it. Can't do it. Can't do it.
This is where someone yells at us in the chat saying, "But that's in this game."
It's not in this game. It's not.
Oh,
but
half
also,
a year of Pokésports.
Yeah, it's half a year of Pokésports. We've done this for 26 weeks, folks. 26 out of 52. That's half a year.
Are you tired of us yet?
Yes, I am. I am tired of us. Kevin, I like, do you ever think that I've like talked about you behind your back? How does that make you feel?
I'm not that interesting.
No? Okay. Yeah, well, that's true. I don't talk about you behind your back and you're not that interesting.
The thing is, if we're bantering at each other, we do it in a public Discord that we're both able to read.
That's very true.
It's not behind my back.
Yeah. Like our interaction with each other is either private or public with everybody.
With our smackdowns, we're talking behind each other's backs.
We are talking a lot of smack, but it's so fun. It's so fun to do those smackdowns and like edit them back and forth. Because I think I mentioned this on the last episode too, but like to see all the times where I'm so sure that you are making a certain move and you're like, no, I'm going to do the exact opposite of what he's thinking.
I was like, Mike's thinking this, so I'm going to do this. And there are other times where I'm like, I'm doing these next level predictions on that SmackDown. And then it's like, oh no, I clicked the wrong button. Yeah. Okay, let's see how this goes.
That first one where like, I've justified everything you did. And you're just like, I messed up. Like I put my controller down and I hit a button.
Okay, this is going to be a little rant now. Why is it that I even have a Pro Controller to show you? Why are the bumpers both programmed as the A button?
Are they really?
Yeah. So when I put my controller on my desk, it selects the thing for me, and I'm just like, wait, no.
Why would you ever put it down?
What else am I supposed to do with this, Mike? Hold it the whole time?
That's fair. Oh, jeez. Okay.
What's the news this week, Mike?
Kevin, there is no shortage of news in Pokemon. For whatever reason, everybody's stuck at home and esports is in this weird place where nobody can actually do anything in person. And yet Pokemon keeps changing. We are now in a time where you can max raid and collect an entire team. Just for max rating. This week and until May 11th, max raids are featuring an entire team. You can find Tyranitar, Excadrill, Whimsicott, Dragapult, Togekiss, and then Rotom Heat for Sword and Rotom Wash for Shield. So theoretically, you can go and catch yourself an entire competitive team just from max rating.
Game Freak over here building competitive teams.
Honestly,
they can't make it any easier here, guys. They're just like, hey, you can literally just use all of these,
right?
And probably win games. This is a really solid team, actually.
I mean, also Game Freak's like low key telling you that like Shield is the better version, giving you the Rotom Wash.
Like something that a lot of people aren't thinking about this is that the fact that this is in the game, I highly doubt they planned for this to be in the game beforehand. This was patched in after the fact because they're literally including Pokemon that are so defined in the meta, which means that they're looking at usages. They know what's good, and that information can go a long way, especially when it comes to patching the game, when it comes to future titles. So they see Tyranitar, Excadrill, Whimsicott, Dragapult, Togekiss. These are all very strong Pokemon that are being very used right now.
That's a very interesting point that you just made, and it made me realize that like when it comes to the game and usage from the game, only Game Freak has access to what is being used the most. In terms of usage stats, we get all that from Pokemon Showdown. That's all the people who are, building teams as quickly as they can and with like zero barrier to creation.
Mm-hmm.
But Game Freak, they're the ones who have the true statistics.
Yeah, people who actually commit to building these Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
Have like a lot better knowledge of what they're trying to go for. But there used to be like Pokemon Global Link and stuff like that.
That's right.
But that's just not a thing anymore.
No.
And I really like that because I actually used that more than Showdown statistics because that was like the true data. But now just like, rest in peace.
Dreamworld was a fun time too. I like Dreamworld.
I like the pictures.
Mm-hmm.
They have nice PNGs. Dreamworld art is great.
Mm-hmm.
Series 4.
We're in Series 4 now.
You want to know what's funny? I've actually played more Series 4 games than Series 3 games, and we're only 2 days in.
That's funny. Well, you said that you wanted to do that, though. You wanted to.
Yeah.
You wanted to wreck this one.
Mm-hmm.
Are you back in Master Ball or?
Yeah, I made it to Master Ball. I think right now I'm at like 2,000. Well, probably less right now. I didn't play today. But out of the 5 Pokemon that are new, I didn't see a single one out of like 45 games.
No, and I don't think you will. Machamp, Garbodor, Gengar, Carparage, Duraludon. Those are all the new G-Maxes that are in Series 4. But no, I doubt you're going to see a lot of them. Garbodor just doesn't make sense. You're replacing the move that, lowers special attack. Like that's a really good move, that poison move.
That raises special attack. Yeah.
Raises. Oh, yeah, that's right. The boost. Right. And then Machamp, same thing. Like you're replacing Max Knuckle. Like Max Cheesark is good, but not like that good. It's okay. It's not that good.
They were really afraid of making G Maxes really strong because they accidentally made a lot of them worse.
Well, they also accidentally made max moves really good. So if you're going to make G Maxes, like you need to make it better than good. Like you're double buffing your stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
It's tough, right? I mean, this one looks a lot like Series 3. Series 4 does, but at the same time, it kind of doesn't. And that is exactly what we're going to be talking about today. We are going to be talking to you about the usage stat changes that had come not for Series 4, but just before the turn of Series 4. So to give you a little recap, all of the sites that you look at usage stats for, like Picolytics or Babiri or anything else, Smolin really, they all go off of Showdown. Pokemon Showdown releases usage status at the end of every month. So if you're looking at something in like on the 20th of April, you're looking at what usage was actually during March that was released at the beginning of April. So it being a new month, it being May 3rd, as of recording this, we now have April's usage stats. And it has changed, folks. It's changed in a couple different ways.
I think actually by not having in-person tournaments, the meta is changing even more than I'd expect it to. And we're gonna get into this later with how much the meta has changed since the beginning of April to the end of April. But like, I don't know, maybe just by having these online tournaments, like every single week, different online tournaments happening at the same time, you get into this like, okay, people are just, they can't look to the pro players to make their teams anymore, right? They have to just experiment and do it on their own. And, we have the meta changing weekly. It might not look like it, but we definitely do.
Yeah. Definitely. And like you're seeing it more in game now. Before you would see very rapid changes through Pokemon Showdown, but that wouldn't really translate into the regular game because people are spending a lot more time practicing with their teams and going out to these events. So not a lot of time to view the current changing meta. So now that you're kind of forced to be at home and do all this research, people are trying and experimenting. And they keep making changes in their in-game team as well as on Showdown. Yeah, so this new month, what have we seen on Picolytics?
Big one. Dragapult now surpasses Togekiss.
Oh yeah,
that's like the first time Togekiss has been trumped in a very long time. Even when Incineroar came out, Incineroar wouldn't even trump Togekiss at 60%. But Dragapult passes it at 38. Yeah, that's crazy.
Do you have any idea why that is?
Dusclops and just like Dusclops and Mimikyu in general. There's a lot of ghost types that are very popular right now in the meta. We know about the Japanese triple ghost core. It's like your dragon, fairy, ghost.
It wasn't these three though, right? It was Dragapult, Mimikyu, and wasn't it Aegislash?
It was Aegislash, yeah. So you also have the Steel, but these three also are on a lot of teams as well. These three together, just because in general, Ghost is a very good defensive typing. You're immune to fighting and normal moves. Along with that, Dusclops is like the tankiest Pokemon in the world.
Oh yeah.
There's really nothing you can do to one shot it unless you really invest. And a big reason why a Mimikyu and Dragapult are being used very commonly together is so that you can one shot the Dusclops by proccing a weakness policy on a Shadow Sneak with the Shadow Sneak. And then Dynamaxing, Max Phantasming.
True. Okay, so Ghost is that has kind of always been something to watch out for, though, right?
Yeah, Ghost is spooky. National Paranormal Day.
Oh, true.
We did that by accident.
Oh, we've come full circle. Oh, dude, I'm so happy. Okay, so Dragapult now sits at the top, 38% usage. It's man, like ever since the beginning of the game too, like Dragapult did see number 1 before around the first 2 or 3 months. Then people discovered Togekiss and went.
It was the shiny new pseudo legend. Everyone wanted to use it. Then people stopped using it, and now everyone's using it again.
Yeah, really.
It's a love-hate relationship.
Exactly. Speaking of ghost types, Mimikyu popped out of nowhere past Excadrill and Incineroar this month.
That's crazy.
And then
Incineroar dive.
Yeah, oh yeah. And then speaking of passing Incineroar, Arcanine is now less than 1% used more than Incineroar.
I'll tell you why.
Oh, tell me why.
A lot of people actually alternated from their Arcanine sets. They went from a supportive Arcanine set with, Snarl, Flamethrower, Will-O-Wisp, etc., into a very offensive Arcanine set with Choice Banded Flare Blitz, with Choice Banded Wild Charge, Choice Banded Close Combat, but while still running the Intimidate. The Intimidate is the very big key here, is because actually with the Choice Banded Wild Charge, you're able to OHKO an uninvested Milotic with just HP.
Oh yeah,
which is pretty big because Milotic actually took a shift from being a defensive support Pokemon to an offensive Life Orb Dynamaxer.
Oh yeah.
Because of the appearance of Colossals, everything's changed. Like that's what I'm talking about. Like one change leads to another change, which leads to another change.
This Colossal use is blowing my mind too.
Oh, dude, it's so annoying. I hate it so much.
Wow. I remember when people were using it at the beginning of the game, this being half a year in, thinking about what happened half a year ago, with Weavile. People used to use like Surf Weavile because it was super fast and could proc the Steam Engine and the weakness policy at the same time.
Yeah, that kind of evolved into a Surf Dragapult instead. Sometimes even Aqua Jet Primarina is used. There's a couple things. And what makes it really hard to deal with is that on that team, there's always going to be a Gastrodon somewhere. So, just read the problem with Milotic is Milotic really only had Muddy Water to hit it with. And Muddy Water doesn't do a lot of damage. It's very inaccurate. And I guess that's why people took the switch over to Primarina with, an accurate double attacking move. It attacks both Pokemon.
I can't wait. By the way, we're going to be speaking about Primarina today. I cannot wait to be talking about Primarina.
Dude, I mean, Primarina is just kind of taking storm. It didn't make top usages. It didn't make top usages on.
It's number 14 this month.
Yeah, but I think on Babiri and on all the top teams, it's very high up. Let's see. Yeah, on Babiri. And if you guys don't know about Babiri.net, we did a whole Pokésports Plus with the creator Calvin. What it is the top 100 teams on Showdown, and then usage stats for those top 100 teams.
Oh yeah, I'm seeing that 4, 7, 11. Wow.
Primarina is number 5 on on Babiri. Top teams are using this Pokemon, which is something to keep an eye out for because they realize how strong it is. This Pokemon is stupid.
That's incredible. Okay, and then we wanted to pose a question to the audience here in Twitch chat, and also if you're listening to this either on YouTube or on podcast providers, do you, for those of you who play competitive Pokemon, do you have a Intimidator like Arcanine, like Hitmontop that you prefer to use? Do you not like Intimidate users? Like what are your thoughts on Intimidate in general? So if you're on Twitch with us right now, you can leave a message and we'll talk about it here. Or if you're on YouTube, you can leave it down in the comments. Or if you're on Spotify, you can send it to Pokesportspodcast@gmail.com and we'll talk about that next week. But
and if you don't
let us know.
If you don't play competitive Pokemon, do you like dogs or cats better?
Oh, now we've covered everybody. We've covered people who play Pokemon. This is the amount right here in my little face cam. This is the amount of people who play Pokemon. And this is the amount of people, this whole area right here, who does not and either likes cats or dogs. It's a nice little Venn diagram.
It's asking the same question.
I mean, hey. Cool. All right. So that is those are stat changes in VGC. Now let's talk, and I love that we're doing this now, by the way, but let's talk a little bit more about Smogon tiers, because those have seen pretty big change recently as well. So there we go. Let's just put that on Showdown. I keep saying Showdown when I want to say Smogon. There were a lot of tier changes this week. If you had I'll lead by saying this. If you had a favorite Pokemon, if you're a Smogon player, and you've had a favorite Pokemon drop out of a tier that you play, you can let us know by sending us an email at pokesportspodcast@gmail.com. We'll mention right now just the Pokemon that are relevant in VGC and Smogon, who were kind of surprising in the fact that they dropped ranks or gained ranks. But keep in mind that the way that Smogon does tiers is a little, I want to say convoluted. Because here's the thing. If a Pokemon does or does not hit 4.52%, and I don't know how or why they came up with that number, but if a Pokemon does or doesn't hit 4.52% in their given tier, it'll either rise to the tier above it or drop to the tier below it. So if you see a popular Pokemon rise, it's likely because it was played a lot, or if you see an unpopular Pokemon fall, it's likely because it wasn't played much at all. Yeah.
It's all on usage.
Exactly. So let's look at who rose and fell this week. So not much VGC relevance in what rose, more in what fell, but Escavalier rises to UU from RU. Pangoro also comes to UU from rarely used RU-BL, which is the ban list. So it's technically in the RU tier, but they're just like, no, it's too OP for RU. Let's put it in unable to be used there. So now it's like officially home in UU.
Pangoro.
I
forgot that was in the game.
Right? Escavalier too, though. Like nobody uses Escavalier.
It has overcoat. It has a niche that it could fill, especially with sleep powder Venusaurs. It's worth a shot.
It seems to be filling that kind of use. It did in RU. But now it got kicked right out of RU. It was too OP in that one, so they brought it up to UU. Now that it's in UU, I don't see Escavalier being used as much. There are just too many decent fire types in UU and in OU, especially. Like you're definitely not going to be seeing an Escavalier make it up to OU anytime soon.
I actually have no idea what UU looks like. I'm gonna wait till our SmackDown to figure that one out.
Yeah, right. That's what's cool about these SmackDowns. Like I'm learning about the current meta in each of these formats. It's pretty sick. Arctovish, Hatchrim, Liepard, Silvally, Fire, Dragon, and Dark all moved up from PU to NU. So from PU to never used. That is probably going to be one of the more interesting tiers that we play, NU or PU. Really interested to play that.
What's this whole mess with Silvally? They have like one form in every tier.
They have no idea what to do with Silvallies, man.
I didn't know they actually considered each one a different Pokemon.
They do.
Because isn't it just one move that's different, if we're going to be honest?
Yes. That move makes all the difference.
I guess, like, the fact that you have 3 in NU, you have 1 in PU, you have a couple here, a couple there, you got some sprinkled on top, like, they're all over the place.
Well, you also got to realize, too, though, that, like, the Silvallies, even though they're classified as different Pokemon technically, when you get down to PU and NU and ZU and like to a certain extent RU, you get less people playing that than you do your common like UU players only or your OU. So anybody who brings a Silvally on their team in any kind of type is going to influence those usage stats like immensely.
Yeah, that's a good point. And the thing with Silvally, I didn't think Silvally is that bad. I mean, doesn't it have like base 95 all around? Like that's not terrible in this meta, right?
It's not that it's bad. It's just it's like outclassed by everything else.
Yeah, it's a jack of all trades.
Yeah, like because it has what you said 95 in each stat.
I believe so. Yeah, and then Arceus is 120 in each.
Right, because this is Arceus clone. The thing about that, like that puts it at a. I just looked this up. 570 stat total. The problem is that its attack and its special attack are the exact same. So like usually Pokemon are kind of min maxed in that like their attack will either be super strong or their special attack will be super strong. And then without that, their stat total will be whatever it is. In Silvalley's case, you remove one of those 95s and its stat total goes down to like mid 400s, and that's a crappy Pokemon.
But here's the thing that I'm seeing is that Hatchrim is in the same tier as this thing, and Hatchrim has base 370 stat total. That's 200 less than Silvally.
Eviolite though. Eviolite.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Add 50% of the defenses. It's pretty good.
Yeah, that becomes it's still 470. It's still 100 less.
It's also got fairy typing. It's also got fairy typing.
You could have a fairy Silvally.
Yeah, I'm curious where fairy Silvally is.
Oh jeez, Silvally is so convoluted.
Yeah, Silvally.
You're talking about
fairy. What's that?
You're talking about Smogon's like 4.52 being convoluted. I think their decision with Silvally is convoluted.
Oh yeah. Silvally fairy. Yeah, that's not seeing any use either.
Silvally fairy is RU.
Yeah, that's RU.
So it's technically better than these that we're talking
about. It has a UU set on Smogon though, so that's kind of cool.
I'm just looking on Showdown right now.
Neat.
Yeah.
Neat. And then from ZU to PU, we've got Gothitelle. That one I want to talk about. Gothitelle, Meowstick, and a few others that you can see on screen. But yeah, Gothitelle. When you take out Shadow Tag from Showdown, that's why it's garbage.
You just reminded me why it's low. Yeah, I'm like, oh, that's banned.
Dude, it's really, really bad.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Competitive isn't bad in VGC, but I'm pretty sure Intimidate's less common, especially down there in that tier.
Intimidate's used. In Smogon.
But
that's really good. It's an attack drop. Right? Yeah.
In higher tiers, not the lower ones.
Yeah.
I mean, you could use the lower ones in higher tiers, but I mean, I'm pretty sure you have other psychics that you can use.
Right.
What about the drops?
And then on the drops, of course, we've got Ditto and Dugtrio dropping from OU to UU.
That's weird.
Ditto. I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Ditto's top 25 in Ubers.
Yep.
And it dropped to UU.
That's funny.
That's really
funny. I mean, like, to me, that just means that nobody's using it. But I don't know, man. Like, Ditto dropping to you, like that's an OU Pokemon. That's an OP Pokemon.
That was number one, right? And people were just it was number one when Dynamax was a thing, right? And then Dynamax went away.
Yeah. Interesting. And then, well, hold on. We're going to move on from that because Dugtrio doesn't matter. Braviary, Duraludon, Inteleon, and Avalugg drop down from UU to RU this week.
Duraludon. Are you?
Yes.
Duraludon is like a VGC god.
Yup.
It's so good.
So many of those.
All four of these. Well, all three of these.
All four of these. No, Braviary, so good in VGC. Tailwind not used ever in Smogon, barely. Duraludon, amazing. It's a VGC god. Inteleon. That one guy used it in that tournament that one time, and people went nuts for it. And then Avalugg is a champ. You can see it on our video today.
I'm actually surprised with Avalugg.
Tell me why.
There was a situation when I was using Avalugg where this man was using a +2 Conkeldurr Dynamax. And Avalugg just waltzed in there on a switch in and took it. I'm just like, oh, That's a little disgusting. Thanks for the weakness policy, though. Here's a trick crew.
Wait, you're using a weakness policy, Avalog?
Oh yeah, Mikey. Weakness policy, and I self break it with my Dusclops, with Brick Break, which is actually very convenient because I've been going against a lot of Laprases.
Okay, yeah, right. You can break the resonance. I get that, but
and then
break what do you use after weakness policy?
So I have Avalanche for the max Hailstorm because that's Avalog's strongest ice type move for some reason.
Right, got to make it the big ice boy. Got it.
Yeah. Max Rockfall for Charizards. I deleted so many Charizards in my team testing. It was so.
What does it get? Not maxed.
Just Rock Slide.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then Max Quake for the Colossals,
which is Earthquake.
Mm-hmm. I tried very hard. I was like, what's the meta and what moves do I need? It also gets Recover, which is nice because I can recover back up to my Sturdy that I break.
Oh my gosh. So that's a max guard too.
Yeah, when you D-max it becomes max guard.
That's pretty awesome.
Oh, it's high horsepower, not Earthquake, my bad.
Oh,
but it can be Earthquake, can't it?
Got it. I feel like Avalog can learn Earthquake. I mean, forgive me for not knowing this, but
sorry, we're not. I didn't know about Avalog until Dakota from our Patreon tier suggested he wanted a team around it. And then I was like, okay, I guess I got to try.
Oh, yeah, I can learn Earthquake. Oh, that's good.
And he's already warned me. He has another spicy one for this month, so I can't wait.
Oh my gosh. That's good. I can't wait. All right. So those are the rises and falls of Smogon tiers this month. I want to continue to go over Smogon tiers, you know, in next, you know, in future months. If you're looking at our video version, you can always see the RU to NU and then U to PU, but none of those really had too much relevance for most of what we're talking about. Save maybe like, I don't know, the Lanoon going from RU to NU, like
Hitmontop going to PU.
Oh yeah, Hitmontop went to PU. Oh my gosh, Phalanx too. Like Phalanx, no one cares about Phalanx, man. I had high hopes for Phalanx, and it failed me.
It failed.
It failed me. Same thing with Appleton. Yeah, actually, you know what? The more that I look at this, the more I'm like, oh, these are actually like fun Pokemon that got shafted away. Yeah, double.
Jeez, that's
Body
fun.
Press Boy. Mr. Rhyme is in PU. Get out of here.
I bet Mr. Mime is higher.
Galarian Slowpoke to PU.
Rest in peace. That was OU for a while.
Rest in peace. Oh my God. This is why going off of usage is kind of weird sometimes. Kind of weird.
Everyone's like, oh, new Pokemon, gotta try it. It went up to OU, and they're like, oh, this is bad. It went down to PU.
All right, forget this. We tried it for the one game. Didn't work. All right, let's take a little break, and then when we come back, let's talk about some Pokemon that we're going to watch this week.
Let's talk about Pokemon? Whoa.
Oh, sounds good. All right, talk to you in a bit. Welcome, everybody, back to Pokésports, a competitive Pokemon podcast. I'm still Mike, but now I play with 4 Pokemon on the field.
Horde battles only.
Horde battles only. I only play Gen 6 Horde battles. Oh man. Hey, before we speak about some Pokemon that we're going to watch this week, we have 3 amazing answers from our question earlier today. That being, do you have a favorite Intimidate user, and or do you like dogs or cats? Not Skywalker says, I'm using Intimidate less, or at least not prioritizing it as much, because I keep seeing Braviary / Milotic / Bisharp more. Plus, it doesn't work on Pult. I mean, that's true. That's true. Clear body, you're not intimidating any Dragapults out there.
That's a good point.
You're also not having it work on, who is it? Klinkwang? Is that the other guy with clear body?
Oh, beats me. I thought the other one was Metagross.
I mean, that's true. Oh, dude, once that comes out.
Yeah,
Intimidate users are going away.
Was onto something. Yeah, and with weakness policy, clear body, Metagross. When that thing comes out, it's gonna take over.
Yeah, that is Kling Klang. That is Kling Klang with clear body. It's just not happening. Yeah, Metagross and the Reggies also have clear body. Kling Klang, Diancie, Dragapult. Yeah, there are a lot of Pokemon with clear body. Tentacruel too. I miss Tentacruel, man.
Rest in peace.
Tentacruel was a good boy.
You can use Toxapex, same thing.
No.
Not the same.
No, absolutely not.
It's not Gen 1.
Stark says, I love Intimidate. It's simple but effective, and I'll always resort to Arcanine because he's my boy.
My boy.
I like Roar and Top a lot. I guess Hitmontop, but none of them compete with Arcanine for me. Roar, I guess, is Incineroar, obviously.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Intimidate in general, nothing feels better than when the opponent has their last 2 on the field and you have 3, and you can just keep swapping in an Intimidate and swapping in an Intimidate and swapping in an Intimidate until they're just not even a factor in the game.
Hey, if John Cena was a Pokemon, he'd have clear body.
You mean Melmetal?
Is John Cena?
Yes.
Melmetal is John Cena?
Yeah. Why not?
He got 2 big arms. Iron bash.
Hit him with the double iron.
You can't see me. Okay. And then Blossom says, honestly, I'm becoming more and more of a fan of Torracat as an Intimidator because of the speed. I often find myself not using Incineroar a lot for damage, so just getting Torracat in to Parting Shot out is more useful for my playstyle.
That's interesting.
That's an interesting point. Yeah, like just doing things for your niche. Like, hey, if your team fits it, it fits it. That's why some people use Rose Raids instead of Venusaurs, because the team fits.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think Torracat's also only a fire type, so you don't have all the dark weaknesses along with it. Fire type defensively is just stupidly good. I think we've gone over this on the podcast before. Fire type has like 5 weaknesses. 5 resistances, and with only 2 weaknesses.
That's true. That is true.
It's a really good defensive typing.
I mean, the unfortunate part is that, like, Grass. I don't know why I keep going back to Grass, but Grass is a pretty decent defensive typing if I'm remembering this correctly. But the things that it's weak to are also really good.
Yeah, they're super relevant, like flying or like fire.
Yeah. It resists so much, but it's weak to 5 things, and those 5 things are nuts.
Grass is a very good offensive typing, though. It's good against rock, ground, water. Gastrodon.
That's why you don't see too many Gastros, though. You see them, but not as many because of Venusaur. Yeah. Huh. All right. So, Kevin, we mentioned last week that this is the previous Pokésports Spotlight was going to be the last one until Isle of Armor. And that is still the case. We are not doing Pokésports Spotlights until Isle of Armor comes out. And in fact, at the end of the podcast, and I can't believe I didn't say this at the beginning of it, at the end of today's podcast, we are going to be shouting out the winner of the Pokésports Spotlight giveaway. But in place of that, I wanted to introduce something a little lighter, and that is Pokemon that I want us to watch this week. Now, that's in battle, that's in VGC, that's in Smogon. It can be from anywhere, but these are Pokemon who have proven themselves in a way that none of the others have.
What to look out for.
Our first Pokemon that we want you to look out for this week is Primarina. Look out for Primarina. Kevin, you've been using one on your team. Tell me why.
So Primarina, like we mentioned earlier on the podcast, is top 5 usage in the top 100 teams on Showdown right now, and that's for good reason. It's actually a very interesting story how Primarina got in the scenario that we're in right now. If you would have asked me like March 1st. Is Primarina good? Actually, I think
we did. Yeah, I did.
And we were both like, nah.
No.
But it's good.
It is.
It's actually, but it's good because of where the meta is right now. Like, a lot of things had to go right for Primarina to be in this sweet spot. First off, like Series 3 happened, right? Series 3 came out March 1st. What was everyone looking at? Their shiny new toy, Incineroar.
Yes.
Incineroar was everything on anybody's mind. The first day, it had 60% usage or whatever it was. And immediately people flocked to Milotic. Milotic saw a very big surge in usage at the same time and has actually dropped off since then. People flocked to Milotic for their bulky water type that can counter Incineroar because, Incineroar can't touch Milotic. Milotic has competitive for the Intimidate, etc., etc. And then at the same time, while people using Milotic for Incineroar, Colossal and Dragapult started to make a very big resurgence once Volclith came out, G-Max Volclith.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have these complete Colossal dependent teams with Dragapult. You even had Colossal Trick Room teams with Mach Punch and Conkeldurr and Dragapult on the off chance that he didn't want to get his speed up. And then Milotic was like, oh, wait, I'm a bulky water type. I can't hit you hard enough to take you out with this muddy water. So what does Milotic do to resort to this? They run Mud Shot, Life Orb, and Dynamax with Max Quake.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But eventually, you have a situations where like, oh wait, I'm running full offensive investment with Milotic, and then I'm wasting my whole D-Max spot on this. Like I'm committing to D-Max with this one Pokemon to take out just one other Pokemon. So people are like, wait, isn't there that one Pokemon called Primarina that is literally Milotic but offensive? and
so they're like, why not just use that?
Let's just use that, and we don't even have to Dynamax
it. See, like when Primarina and Decidueye and Incineroar first came back, I should say, from home, everybody was like, oh yeah, no, Incineroar is going to be the only one because Primarina, everyone at one point thought that Primarina was going to be really good because of the water voice ability, liquid voice. That's it. No, liquid voice isn't like super great, but I mean, hey, it turned out to be okay because you know what? It doesn't matter if you can't. If liquid voice doesn't do exactly what you want it to, you can still D-Max and do D-Max things.
Yeah. So something interesting to
Soul D-Maxer is really cool.
Something interesting to note though is that liquid voice doesn't actually hyper voice doesn't turn into Max Geyser, it turns into Max Strike instead because it stops being a sound move when you Dynamax.
Right.
So I'm running Hydro Cannon on mine.
Okay.
Which becomes base 150 when you Dynamax.
That's a pretty strong move.
Yeah, it's 20 base points higher.
However,
and like you just
if you do, and one of the cool things about liquid voice is that it bypasses Storm Drain.
Oh yeah. So you still hit the Gastrodon, but you can still hit the adjacent.
Mm-hmm. So, and the adjacent's what you got to be worried about because that's where your like colossals are. So usually people will bring out the Gastrodon with the colossal. You just use the liquid voice on the two of them, and suddenly you're still doing super effective damage, twice super effective damage, 4 times on a colossal.
Yeah, colossal can't hide behind Gastrodon anymore. And then just like in general, where the meta is right now, think of the water fairy typing is super unique. And I actually don't think any other Pokemon has it this generation. I think no relevant Pokemon has it this generation. And just like where it is in the meta, like Primarina is good against, think about these Pokemon: Colossal, Dragapult, Gastrodon, Rhyperior. Like the list just goes on and on.
It's a good time to be a water type, a good water type.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. And so we are seeing it on usage stats. It's popped up to number 14 in April. And as Kevin said on Papiri.net, you can see it on like several of the top 100 teams.
25%. Yeah.
Yeah.
So 25 of the teams it's on.
That is a lot. So that's Primarina. Next, we have another Ina. We've got Starina.
Say Starina?
Starina. Am I wrong?
I say Starina.
I'm sorry, Starina?
Yeah, like a.
Oh, I guess that's true. Thing. Oh, well, that's true. That is, you're right, because it's not STAR, it's TSAR.
I could be wrong. I also say Haturn.
No, you do say Haturn, but I think you're actually right in this case. The T is silent. It's Serena. I messed up.
Mike, it's not just me.
Ask me what gen it's from.
Oh, come on, Mike.
Do it. I need this.
Do it. What is it?
It's Gen 7.
Okay, now what's its pre-evolution?
I
love this game.
Very nice. Google. Oh, I can't Google it fast enough.
So
I know it's not Bound Sweet, right?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, that's the first one, right? And then it evolves into, I'm looking at this dead in the face and I can't read it. Steenie. That's why I thought it was Starina.
Ooh, okay.
Man, yeah, I just mansplained that. That's how I do.
The S and the T turn around.
Yeah. Blossom in the chat got to it before me. Steenie. Bound Sweet, Steenie, and Sarina. So I'm very sorry about that, but tell me why Serena is so good.
Okay. You made up for it with that.
There you go.
So Sweet Veil is a thing. And Sweet Veil is really nice, especially with Venusaur running around with Sleep Powder and Roserades running around with Sleep Powder, because people don't really realize this, but Sweet Veil not only protects yourself from sleeping, it protects your ally too. So you can just switch in a Serena when you see a Venusaur and expect to be okay. Granted, Venusaur does have the potential to just max ooze you or just hit you with the Sludge Bomb, but if you run Assault Vest on this thing, you will live it. Along with that, yeah.
Oh.
Scary Pokemon. It also has a stupid high attack, I think base 125, and incredibly good coverage moves like Power Whip, Play Rough, and High Jump Kick.
Does have high jump kick.
This Pokemon's pretty good. And then the other ability, if you don't feel like running Sweet Veil, you could also run Queenly Majesty, which makes priority moves not work. So sorry, Whimsicott.
Oh, get the Whimsicots out of there. Where was this like 3 months ago when I was looking for a counter to Whimsicots?
It was sleeping. Oh, it was somewhere in the wild area. Oh, it was the same place Flygon is right now.
Okay.
Somewhere in the game.
So watch out for Serena. Start using a Serena. I need to say Serena as many times as I can, Serena, so that I can not mess it up again, Serena. It also has this cool little like crown growth on the top of its head. I thought that was a crown, and now I'm looking at it closer, and it's a growth.
I mean, it is a plant.
Yeah, it is a plant.
Also gets knockoffs and headbutt and U-turn.
I think we're all forgetting the fact that all grass types are just sentient plants.
Yeah.
And we need to not forget this.
So, okay.
Ferrothorn's our last one. Ferrothorn is I can talk about this one. This is
wait. Let me go back.
Don't.
So, but please.
Okay.
So, you know how Pokemon has sentient plants. Is that technically still being vegan if, say, you munch on said sentient plant?
I think
you take a bite out of an applin.
Yeah.
Is that vegan?
Well, you also went for the lowest hanging fruit. It's on the ground and it's crawling around. It is the lowest hanging fruit. I think we were all thinking of a vegan joke, trying to put one together. Oh. That was what the silence was on my part. Because I was like, I need to think of one real quick. Then it didn't happen. So I was just like, hey, Ferrothorn's a steel grass Pokemon. It's also a sentient plant.
You wouldn't want to eat that one.
Don't. Is that supposed to be like a durian? Is that it? Is that a durian Pokemon?
I don't know, but you should probably cook it first because that looks pretty thorny.
Well, if you do it faints pretty quick.
What's a durian?
You don't know what a durian is?
I'm from America, Mike.
I'm sorry. Durians are a fruit, and so they exist around the world.
Is this the stinky one? I remember this from Super Mario Sunshine.
Yes. Very good. Very good. Also, me being from Canada, it's not like durians are native to me. So
this looks like a big old acorn.
It basically is a big old acorn. But look at that and then look at Ferrothorn and tell me that they're not based off of one another. A durian is based off of a Ferrothorn, by the way. It does go the other way. All Pokemon are based off of.
I see it.
There you go.
I see it.
Ferrothorn's really good. Watch out for it this week in your games. Iron Defense plus Body Press. You can use that in Smogon. You can use that in VGC. I would suggest trying it out in Smogon. It's a set that not a lot of people use right now. So not a lot of people will be expecting it. Right now, they're all expecting you to use like Spikes or Leech Seed or, Protect, Gyro Ball.
Rampage
Spain. Exactly.
Floor Gang.
Can you explain that to the people? Because I feel like, does it need explaining?
No, there's no explanation.
Floor Gang.
Ferrothorn's in the floor, so he's Floor Gang.
He is Floor Gang. That's fair.
In the floor.
So watch out for it. It's a good time. Stark, what do you do? I'm seeing what's happening to Stark in the chat.
I don't.
He keeps getting timed out because I think some word that he's using contains something that Streamlabs doesn't like. So I think I'm just going to delete that and just actually moderate the chat like I should be in the first place. Because people are getting weird for containing swears. That's not the good place with Kristen Bell. Listen, the winner of our final Pokemon Pokésports Spotlight giveaway, in which we are giving out an Excadrill, a Noctowl, a Mimikyu, and a Dusclops, all competitively ready and all there for you exactly when you need them in your time of need, in your time of speed, in your time of sneed, is Tanner Mask. Tanner Mask, I've been seeing a lot in our YouTube comments, and as well, not actually just in our YouTube comments, but funny enough, he did win the action on Gleam that he won from was by visiting Pokésports on YouTube. So he did his normal thing. It was easy.
I'm so sorry, Tanner.
You just clicked a couple links and there you go. It's the final one until Isle of Armor comes out. We're just gonna put it off for another month, and then we're gonna come back once the new thing is there, because we're really interested to see what the new meta is like, and we want to really hit the ground running on that one.
Isle of Armor soon, very soon.
Isle of Armor is soon, dude. That's like an hour and a half away. Wow, what am I talking about? It's a month and a half, something like that. Wasn't it like June 20th or something?
They didn't give a date.
They didn't give a date. They said like June. I see. So that's the end of our podcast. We're done. We can close the book on half a year of Pokésports. We're there.
How do you feel about Pokésports, Mike? I mean, you're still here, so.
How do I forget about it? I am still here. The amount of times that I have forgotten Pokemon that are Stark Maximum's favorite, that keeps me going. That brings me back every week. And I'm like, what Pokemon am I going to forget is in the game this time? Is it going to be Flygon? Is it going to be Arcanine? Is it going to be...
What's it going to be, Mike?
I don't know, Kevin, what's been your favorite part about doing Pokésports?
I like, first of all, talking about Pokemon. Talking about meta changes. So this episode was really fun for me. I always like how you can write a story about how the meta is changing. Like you can kind of just figure out why things are happening, and that makes a lot of sense to me. It's like one thing's good, so this thing is good, and then that thing being good becomes the good thing, and then the new good thing is the thing that counters this good thing. It's fun.
There's a narrative. There. It's fun to follow that narrative. And what are you looking forward to in future Pokésports?
Isle of Armor. Legendaries. I want to know what the heck those new Regis are going to
be. Yeah.
Couple of things.
I'm really curious about those new Pokemans. Those new Galarian Pokemans. Sorry?
Hopefully. The tournament that we're probably going to run soon.
Yeah. We are. How many? Are we one away? We're still one away, right?
It's 1 or 2. Yeah.
Gee. If you go to patreon.com/Pokésports podcast, we are 2 away from starting up a patron only tournament. And that is going to be a fun time. We've been looking into ways we're going to do that. We've been looking into ways we're going to set up brackets. And we just want to do competitive stuff. And that's going to be the start. So get ready for that. You can also follow Pokésports on YouTube at Pokésports, or on Twitter at PokésportsPod, Instagram or Patreon at Pokésports Podcast. Kevin, where can people find you?
X Reservation, Twitter, Instagram.
That was so fast.
I was ready for it.
Now say it again, but like 3 times slower.
X Reservation.
Because you got to understand, people listen to this podcast at 2 times speed.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so you just said something that is inaudible to the human ear, like dog's ears got it. Because dog's ears can hear things super fast. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter. It's still just Mike. Wherever you find your people as well, it's still just Mike. Tell a friend about Pokésports, be it on YouTube, be it on anywhere else, wherever you get your podcasts. We're actually getting dangerously close to a full 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. So if you're not subscribed to the Pokésports YouTube page, we do put out content like literally every single day. So yeah, go and support your local Pokésports by going to YouTube and subscribing there. That's what you can do to best help us out this week. Support your local Pokésports. I mean, hey, if there's a Pokésports Japan, I am happy. I'm fine. They're allowed. We're now accepting franchise applications. You can send that to Pokésportspodcast@gmail.com. If you want to open up a Pokésports Frankfurt, I need to stop this podcast. Can I stop the podcast now?
Go for it, Mike.
All right. We'll see you guys next week. See ya.